Honorable. Good afternoon. Hello, Honorable, can you hear me?
Yes, so I can hear you. How are you?
Good. How are we?
We are blessed. Yourself?
We can't complain much. Yes.
Oh,
We are
and
back
well done.
again.
Well done, well done, well done, well done.
Thank you.
Great
And to all
job.
of us.
Great job. Great job.
Absolutely.
Mm,
There's some few colleagues to join, and then we kickstart.
that okay.
Good afternoon, Prof.
Great to see you again. You know, it looks like some people have problem with the just copying the link. Yes.
Yeah, people have trouble joining.
Yeah, the travel was true. Yeah. So what we do is that I think we should be able to start while I've now put the link, you know. So I think that they'll be joining us. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So we are still on our series. Towards the tail end, I give you the good news. I'm sure you are seeing it on the platform. We have moved on.
Yes.
Yes, we have moved on, and I want to say congrats to all of us, at least for the enduring spirits. We should have done it since last 2 years, you know, but here we are, and better late than never. It's always better late than never. I can assure you of glad tidings. What is important is that let's keep our togetherness. Particularly, I wouldn't advise anybody to lose that status of founding membership, because it's getting much more interesting. And I can tell you by first quarter of next year, let's pray that we are live with sound. Yeah, everything is going to be fine. I'm working behind the scenes with some key members. We'll soon put in place a planning committee, courtesy Oral Prisla, James, Joel, and then we'll adopt some few members into our fold to plan the inauguration on the 17th of December. I think venue is already a done deal. We'll now be looking at the event planning itself. And as I've told you, quite a couple of us who are going to receive a certificate for the level of contribution we have made so far, just to encourage other people to join. But just as I have said, let us try very much to maintain our founding membership status, because membership will now be categorized into founding, ASOC, fellow, and then chartered. Chartered will be the highest. The fellow will be made up of our professors. I think you saw few of them, of course, when we did the last one. We're going to have not less than 5 fellows, and all of these are professors. And they will just be research fellows of the institute, of course. They will be mentoring us. They will do quite a number of things for us. But above all, they will be chartered. So we, those of us present, will be founding members. But we will have the opportunity to transition from FM or maintain both FM and then chartered status. Yeah, chartered. Of course, that will qualify us to practice as chartered corporate governance practitioners, and then also chartered secretaryship. We'll hook up with London, and please, there's a lot of good news in the pipeline. Yes. Now today, what we have to do is we're going to continue our series on how to chair or manage board meetings successfully. And today we're going to look at the issue of self-leadership and boardroom dynamics. So I'll share that one with you, honorable members, and then we'll pick it up from that point, please. Are we sharing now, please?
Yes, I can see the screen.
Very well. Great, great, great. So self-leadership and boardroom dynamics, okay? Part of the process of maintaining an effective boardroom or managing or chairing is to ensure that there's self-leadership. So we'll look at self-leadership today, perhaps in the next couple of minutes, and then maybe we'll look at boardroom dynamics next week. And please, don't take this for granted. If I tell you this slides where it's coming from, you marvel. It was prepared for a particular industry, for a regulator for a particular industry. So please, very, very, very important. Okay. Now, what is self-leadership? Okay. I'm not able to see the full view because of this. So those of you who can see, I think that you, but I can see Mann's 1983, okay? And he says a comprehensive whatever of, influencing perspective. In other words, how do you see, part of maintaining boardroom dynamics is to build each other's capacity and development so that you move at the same pace. And that is done by an effective and dynamic board chair, ensuring that we build each and everyone's capacity to be a par so that we all think on the same wavelength, so that we are all on the same page. That's all self-leadership in the boardroom is all about, colleagues. Okay. Intentional influencing your thinking, feeling, and action towards your own objectives. What it means is that let's move away from the boardroom and even zero it in on our own selves. Like we're doing this evening. After church service, we're tired. We have other family chores, but here we are committed to the process of influencing our own thinking. It means building our capacities to think, to feel, and to act towards our own objectives. In other words, it's also about setting a goal and taking full responsibility for the achievement of the goal. Please, let's take notes. By the time that we are fully inaugurated, of course, our affiliation status will change, because now, in addition to whatever qualification you have, you can now attach an FM-Sigilot. It means you are a founding member of the Chartered Institute of Corporate Governance, Executive Leadership, and Organizational Development. 3 powerful things, colleagues. Let's not joke with this privilege. Let's not joke with this. So you set yourself a goal, and then you take full responsibility to be able to achieve that goal. And that is the view of Tracy on this, colleagues. Peter Drucker is somebody you will love to read. He's a management. And remember, we are dealing with organizational leadership. We are dealing with executive leadership and organizational development. So you cannot run away in our quest to building our executive and managerial leadership from the writings and influence of Peter Drucker. And in 2010, this is what he said, that to be a self-leader is to serve as a chief, captain, or CEO of one's whatever. I can't see the end, but you can see it. Powerful. Be your own chief, be a captain, and be a CEO of your own destiny. That is what Peter Drucker is saying. And that's exactly what the boardroom should reflect, should be like, colleagues. Very powerful statements. And please copy this and paste it just by your bedside. And put it just on top of your door. And paste it. I mean, design it and laminate it If I were you, I'll print it out as a certificate. And then where you sit in the hall, you put it so that as soon as you sit and then overhead, you rest your head, you see it. It should be a reminder to all of us. In other words, nobody can captain your own ship, colleagues. I'm happy that Colonel D'Souza is joining us. I won't tell you where he is for security reasons, but from a very far place. Because we are making progress. Be the captain or the CEO of your own, your own destiny, our own destiny. We have come far, colleagues. And I know where I sit, I know each and everybody within the fraternity now is now going to be known as the Hall of Fame. So you can boast about, you can be proud about this, colleagues. And I know exactly. But much more importantly, at the launch, you'll be proud. Even though we have come far individually, colleagues, I can tell you we are not there yet. To be there, to ensure that the boardroom works devoid of corporate politics, but in the interest of organizational development. The forward march of the institution or the organization. Self-leadership. Be a self-leader. You serve as your own chief, the captain of your own soul. Very important. Because when you allow any other person to captain your soul, chances are that they'll misdirect you. And you don't want to take any chances. Let's not gamble. Because to walk into the boardroom without being a self-leader is to gamble, is to put your own soul for someone else to captain it. And you never know where the Bermuda Triangle is in the high seas. Not even a flight can fly around the Bermuda Triangle or the Satanic Triangle. And so to sit in the boardroom, bring it down to our level, to sit amongst us. Just look at, you've gone to a meeting among your peers and you have no idea what is being discussed, colleagues. How do you contribute? Don't create friction between your tongue and your teeth. You must open its intimacy, at least to even allow fresh air. So not to develop yourself is to create a rusty soul. That's unacceptable for us, by all of us. And therefore the boardroom, captain your own soul. Navigate it. If for nothing, away from the Bermuda Triangle in the high seas. That's important, colleagues. I'm not saying that. I'm just paraphrasing what the money, these are what we call the gurus. Peter Drucker. Peter Drucker. That's what he's saying. I'm only serving as a reminder to all of us. And colleagues, where we are headed, we will not forgive any of our members when fully inaugurated to be asked questions about these three things: corporate governance, executive leadership, and organizational development. And you can't say much about that. That is why from next week, I'll confirm it by Wednesday, we will get an external resource person. That's how we start, colleagues. To take us through. I'll get Professor Yao Ajman Bedu, who took over from Professor Steve Ade in Gimpa, at least to take us through. I'll confirm to you latest by Wednesday. So it's becoming interesting by the day, colleagues. And please trust me, from next year, there will be no quarter that we will not have a major program to influence private and public sector governance, executive and organization. There will be no quarter, please. And all will come from you. My job is just to stay the affairs for some time and then hand over to you. And therefore, there will be executive council on the institute, the CEO and their lieutenants, and there will also be board of directors. And here we're talking of people who have made it, who have seen it all in the Ghanaian society and across the world. Trust me, but we need your support, colleagues. Office is almost a dungeon, colleagues. That's where we're going. Fantastic. What is a philosophy of self-leadership? And you remember Lao Tzu. Mastering others is strength. Mastering your own self is what? Power. So empower yourself. Let's empower ourselves, colleagues. I am the master of my own fate. I can see the rest because of the sharing. But of course, you can see it. But I can see I am something of my own soul. And this is Williams Ernest Henley. Be the master of your fate. Be the master of your own soul. When you empower, when you master what others do, that's a strength of character. But when you master what to do, your own self, what to do, you are empowering yourself. Is it not philosophical, colleagues? Mans 1983. All human beings are self-leaders. Colleagues, look at it. It's so philosophical. However, not all self-leaders are effective as self-leading. What is a challenge? Even as we make a determination this evening, as part of the series to be self-leaders, we should become effective in self-leading. What are we talking about? Let's look at our mindsets, our intentions, our emotions, our self-confidence, our belief system. Whatever we have to do to toughen our minds intellectually will make us to become effective self-leaders. How about actions? Our personal influence, our power, our capacity, but our overall portion that we have to do something. Very important, colleagues. Very, very important. And all of this form part of our quest to building self-leadership in the boardroom, to building self-leadership even amongst ourselves, colleagues. Very important and powerful. Self-leadership is having a developed sense of who you are, colleagues. Who am I? Once you begin to ask this question, and the right time to ask this question is 0 o'clock. 0 o'clock, 12 a.m. this night, in the comfort of your bedroom. If you are with madam or with master, there's a time to wake up and ask each other or you, who am I? Because that question is directed towards building the sense of who you are. What you can do is about your capacity and capability. Where are you going, please? Where I am, we know. Where we were yesterday is past. Where we are, but the future is unknown. History is important because it tells us where we originated from. Today we know. But part of the process of building self-identity is asking ourselves, where do we intend to go? Individually, collectively, organizational wise. Develop 3 things: the sense of self-identity, the sense of self-capacity and capability, but the sense of future direction of the self. Should I repeat it? Sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes we get carried away because the thing is piercing through me. I hope it's doing to you. Self-leadership is about developing self-identity. Who am I? What can I do? It's about self-capacity and capability. And where am I going? It's about self-direction of the future, colleagues. Self-identity, abilities, capabilities, and capacities. Determine the track of your own destiny and then influencing your own communication, but above all, controlling your own emotions and passions. Because I can tell you, somebody either in the boardroom or among executive knows exactly your own capacities and capabilities. And they put you on trap. It's up to you to control your own emotions. Because an emotional outburst can force us to take decisions that will have far-reaching repercussions for our future development and growth. Let's take note of that, colleagues. Very important and powerful. That's what Brian and Kazan is telling us. If we haven't taken anything out of this evening discussion, please take note of this, that self-leadership is about three things: developing self-identity, developing self-capabilities and capacities, but above all, developing direction, the future direction for the self. Your identity is about your abilities, your capabilities and capacities. But you must also determine the track on which the paths that you will tread in order to be able to develop the self-identity. Be able to influence your own communications, colleagues. Is it every parliamentarian that we hear? No. And does it mean that because we don't hear them, they are stupid? No. But the executive eye would always catch those with the loudest mouth, communication. But above all, control our own emotions. If you are very passionate and emotional as me, try and control it. Because decisions that we take in a split of a minute or a second can have far-reaching implications, colleagues, for our own future developments. Is there any need for self-leadership for directors? Yes. And like I told you, please, colleagues, this slide's very, very powerful. What do? They provide strategic leadership in terms of performance. And I don't need to take you through because you are masters of TRICA 2012-2015. Performance and conformance, you remember. The idea of strategic policy combined with supervision, but above all, ensuring ultimate responsibility and accountability to the shareholder. So to the extent that they carry this burden, it's important that board of directors develop self-leadership. Their self-identity. If we had this, perhaps the 2017 to 2021 banking crisis will not occur. Perhaps. Just perhaps. So yes, very important need for directors to develop their self-identity, self-capacities and capabilities, But above all, self-direction for the future. Very important. What were we seeking to say, colleagues? It's about self-leadership and boardroom dynamics. And what did we do? We started by looking at even the concept of self-leadership. And we said it's almost about developing our own self so that we can make meaningful contributions to deliberations in the boardroom. We also look at the philosophical angle of that. And we look at two philosophers, which I showed you. One said mastering others is courage. But mastering about your own self is what we call power. In other words, you are empowering. If you know more about other people, that's courage. But when you know more about yourself, by mastering your own self, becoming the captain of your own soul. Remember the other one said, very powerful. But above all, we're wrapping it up on this. The self-leadership in the boardroom is about three things, colleagues. It's about self-identity. It's about self-capacities and capabilities. But above all, it is about self-direction of the future. Is there a need for self-leadership in the boardroom? And we said, yes. Perhaps we'll look at the details sometime next week. Why is there the need for self-leadership in the boardroom? Because directors are in the performance, okay? Or they are in the stage of ensuring the strategic direction. There is also constraining executive action, but above all, ensuring that there's ultimate accountability on the part of executive leadership. Let me open up so that you can be asked to unmute and then let's discuss. We have very few minutes to go, colleagues. And from now onwards, that's how we're going to take at least at most 40 minutes, maybe from next week, 1 hour. And so that it's short, but is participatory and all this. So please, in the next few, about 3 minutes, let me hear your views about our discussion so far. Thank you so much, colleagues. So you can now unmute yourself and then just let's open up and talk. Yes, Honorable Prisla, Honorable Clement, Michael Na, I can hear Chris, Mohammed Osman, Kamal, please, all of us, let's talk. Let's interact. Just unmute yourself and contribute, please. Hello, colleagues.
Hello, Prof. We are here.
Yeah, please. Yes, Clement. Self-leadership. Hello. Yes, Honorable Abu, yeah, please, I've seen your hand. Contribute.
Hello, sir.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, you were talking about self-leadership.
Yes.
Good. My question, I have a question for you.
Please do.
There is a maxim.
Yep.
There's a maxim that says that if thinking men would have the courage to think for themselves,
okay,
and to say aloud what they think, then they may not be found to differ in opinion in as much as they are supposed. So what we simply mean here is that how can one be a master on his own? Because in the world, we think that there's nothing new under the sun. Hello?
No, I can hear you. I mean, can you navigate yourself back to the boardroom? What we mean by self-leadership is this: that don't go to the boardroom and then you only say yes sir to whatever program or whatever activity. It means that you must have. So contrary, it looks like you have rehashed even what we are saying. Because you have read and then you are a master of your own self, right? You are able to critique whatever that will be tabled in the boardroom, and therefore you make meaningful and effective contribution to that. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. So it is, you are rather in line with
you, sir.
Beyond the philosophy, bring it to the practical level. And how do you feel to sit in a meeting without making any contribution? It's either that you don't know what is being discussed, or you fall into what we said last 2 weeks. The silent seaters, you remember?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the quiet protest.